Welcome to the call. Welcome to the call, all millionaires. My name is Alma Nancy, and it is such a pleasure to be the host of the call this evening. Thank you, all millionaires on the line, so very much for calling in, and I'd like to welcome each and every one of you to this self-esteem development training called Obsessed with Success. Just in case this is your first time calling in, let me let you guys know that we do have these calls each and every Wednesday, and they are always filled with strategies and tips on self-esteem development, entrepreneurship, as well as secrets of the super wealthy. Now, I've been listening to these calls for about 2.5 years now. They have honestly changed my life, and they can do the same thing for you if you allow them to, but you have to be consistently calling into these calls and applying this information. So, millionaires, I have the honor and the privilege to introduce to the line Mr. Haziq Ali. Mr. Ali has a talent for bringing out the very best in people and seeing gifts in them that they do not even see in themselves. He helps people out for a living, but he would totally do it for free, like he does with these calls. He's been an entrepreneur his entire life, and because of this, we actually call him an entrepreneurologist. Mr. Ali is an author, a self-esteem development expert, my personal coach, my mentor, and my friend. Now, coming right up to the line is Mr. Haziq Ali. Are you on the line, sir?
Yes, I am. Yes, I am, Ms. Nancy. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you loud and clear. Please take it away.
Okay. Thank you very much for that rousing introduction. I want to thank you very much for everything you do in front of and behind the scenes, and I want to give a huge welcome to every millionaire that's listening in. This is Obsessed with Success, episode number 158. While you text your study buddy last minute to make sure that they get on the line, because you are going to need your study buddies like you've never needed them before. This episode, we're about to go into 2017 with a bang. And I'm going to run down really quickly what we're going to go over while you're text messaging, your family member or your friend or your coworker that one, needs this information, and two, can help you to retain it. So you guys can go back and forth with the info amongst yourselves. That's where the magic happens when we form that mastermind alliance. So really quick, we're going to go over the 3 questions that Harvard University thinks that you should know about your business, three considerations, we'll say. We're going to give you the 3 ways to troubleshoot your revenue. We're going to give you the 8 benefits of a powerful brand. We're going to give you 5 ways to build a brand. We talked about that a little bit this morning on Affirmation Nation. If you weren't there, you're in for a treat. We're going to give you a daily marketing routine, something that you should be doing every day if you want to generate revenue, a really simple sort of habit you're going to form. We believe in the thoughts and the habits that serve us. You're going to love that. I'm going to give you 30 ways to reuse content. Didn't I tell you need your study buddy? We're going to give you 3 methods that build and destroy curiosity and resistance, right? So we're going to give you 3 methods that destroy resistance, and then 3 methods that build curiosity, because those are opposites, and of course we want one a lot more than the other. That would be curiosity. I'm going to give you 5 of the best ways I've ever come across to create content. I'm going to give you 7 steps to knocking a Facebook Live broadcast out of the park. And then we're going to end this thing off with 7 general principles that make people know, like, and trust you. Millionaires, welcome to episode 158. My name is Haziq Ali, and I love entrepreneurs. I'm something of an entrepreneur supremacist, right? Like, I believe we're the cream of planet Earth. I believe we deserve to live in luxury. It's only a matter of time. I believe we're the ones that push mankind forward. I believe without us, civilization would grind to a halt. And with that said, we need to be studying, and we need to be studying constantly, don't we? We need to know exactly what we're up against out here because of the fact that nobody is going to come and save us, are they? Harvard University, 3 things that they want you to know, right? 3 things that they put out in one of their world-renowned reports is that you as an entrepreneur or a visionary are going to face more change in the year ahead than you've ever seen before. You're going to face more competition in the year ahead than you've ever seen before. And this year, there's going to be more opportunity than you've ever seen before. Millionaires, the year was 1952 when that report came out. And I think it's more true today than it's ever been in any year between now and then. Millionaires, you've got the whole world in the palm of your hand. But it's all up to how much knowledge you're dealing with. So a lot of people are kind of like, they're saying to themselves, well, what is it that makes my page not generate as much as theirs? What is it that makes my brand not attract followers the way his or hers does? Well, I'm going to give you 3 questions that you can use to troubleshoot whenever you're trying to figure out where your opportunity for improvement is. Here's the first question. Why would someone buy from you? Here's the second question. Do I not have enough value? And here's the third question. Do I not demonstrate enough value? Millionaires, those are the 3 questions that if you answer those, you're going to figure out a lot about yourself. You know, my second favorite statement is know thy customer, but the first is still know thyself. You've got to know what it is you're doing all of this for. And all of this is for you to be able to build a brand. Today, all we're doing is talking about branding. So right now, I want to give you 8 of the most powerful benefits of a monster brand. 8 of the most powerful benefits of a monster brand. Millionaires. When you have a brand, what you're going to find out is a lot of the money is already made for you. So right now, I'm about to give you 8 of the benefits of a monster brand. Here's the first one. You're going to get a steady stream of your perfect clients because they know you for being exactly who you are. Number 2, you're going to be able to form all kinds of rewarding partnerships. Number 3, on the list of reasons why you need to be taking building a brand super serious is that all types of leadership opportunities will just appear. They'll just reveal themselves to you, won't they? Number 4, you're going to own a greater mind share than anybody in your same world, anybody in your same industry. When you have a powerful monster brand, you own more of their mental real estate. Number 5, you get automatic association with a market niche. Automatic association with a market niche. Think about that, because that's one step away from you being considered an expert in that niche if you all already are associated with it. Number 6, greater credibility. Greater credibility, right? Number 6 is greater credibility. Number 7, recognition and prestige. Recognition and prestige. And then number 8, on the list of reasons why you should be taking this subject much more serious than you do already, is that just having a brand gives you a higher perceived value. Picture a regular coffee cup next to a cup of Starbucks. How is it just that logo makes this worth 300% more? What is that? Well, millionaires, that's called branding. So what we're going to do right now is give you 5 of the most powerful ways I have ever run across to build a brand. Now, these are really easy ways to build a brand, but they're powerful. We promised you everything that you ever wanted to know about building a brand. Well, here's some of the foundation of it. Number 1, what's your objective? Know thyself, right? This one's important because it basically delineates the other 4 steps. Once you know what your objective is, it will define everything else that you're even doing. I mean, think about it. Do you want to be an expert? Do you want to sell more products? Do you want to start a business? Is there some combination of these, right? Maybe you want to attract more of the perfect clients for your particular business. Nothing wrong with that. Maybe your whole goal is to reach a completely different demographic. Maybe you're looking for competitive differentiation. Maybe you're looking to book more engagements. But the whole idea here is that you can have different pages that have different objectives. Your Facebook page might be different from your Snapchat. Your Periscope you might use for a different purpose than you utilize Facebook Live, because they all have different things that they're strong at. When you think about Periscope, the beauty of it is that you're searchable so easily. When you think about Facebook Live, the beauty is you're talking to people that already know what you're here for. Each one of these has different little specialties that make them their own sort of platform. It's worth you studying them and realizing what your objective is before you even jump on. We're not here to get high off likes. Now, I asked a bunch of questions, earlier today in a quiz that we put out on Facebook, right? I asked a bunch of people, like, what exactly were you guys dealing with the most as it comes to making money with your brand? Man, we got some really interesting answers between Facebook, between my own text messages, between Dear Millionaire, people responding to the Dear Millionaire text. Got a lot of text messages through that. People are having problems finding followers who care. Millionaires. First, you have to define your area of expertise. So that's number 2. What is your area of expertise? Humanize yourself. Stop trying to be this general. Stop trying to be this generalist when it's the specific people that always make the money. Who makes more money, I said this morning in an Affirmation Nation, a general practitioner or a surgeon? Now, who makes more money, a surgeon or a brain surgeon? The further you can carve down your niche, the more money you're going to make, and the more you're going to have people that care. Right now, people don't care because they don't even know what you do. That brings us to number 3. Make a spreadsheet of your profile list. Make sure every profile picture fits that particular platform. Make sure all the information is correct. You'd be surprised how many have links that are outdated on their website, or they haven't updated people with some vital piece of information that would help them be attractive to the person. But they aren't even updating their bio. Any news that's relevant to your profile's audience should be right there in the bio. It should be updated. This helps with your SEO ranking. If you don't know what that is, that's search engine optimization. It helps new clients come however they want, not however you want them to. And then it makes sure that you're not putting up links that are dead. Number 4 in the easy ways to build your brand on social media. You got to come up with a power line, right? A basic synopsis on what you do and what you stand for. I always describe it as action word, as avatar, action word, advertise result. Write that down. Avatar, action word, advertise result. See, this is different from a tagline. A tagline is sort of like a little catchy thing that people will remember about you. That's a power line. It's almost like a minimalist version of your elevator speech. What exactly you do. With Millionaire Minded, our power line is that we help ordinary people move from amateur to entrepreneur, become better leaders, and achieve a higher net worth through a higher self-worth. That's Millionaire Minded's power line. But what is your power line? What is it that you do in a sentence? Now, the beauty of this is that it allows you to be likable. It allows you to be, understandable. You become more clear. That attracts people. And here's the beauty of a power line. It can be different on every single page if you want it to be. Because it's all about number 5, focusing on your fans. You should be stalking your people. You should be chicken hawking your fans. Listen, go to their page. They're telling you what they want. They're telling you how they want it. They're telling you their sense of humor and their favorite products. They're telling you their likes and their dislikes. It's like they filled out a customer survey for free. Why don't you, once we're done with this training, go look at a few of your social media pages and look at the last 10 or 15 people that followed you. What are their goals? What are their aspirations? What kind of things do they post? Do they prefer article links or do they prefer, posting out content? What do they like? Pictures or text? Funny things or videos? Because millionaires, if you want to connect, if you want to be important to them, you got to get them what they want. Let me tell you a story one of my mentors told me. He was talking about like how when he first went up to Vegas, because of the fact that this guy was dealing with gambling, because this is actually one of my mentors' mentor. This guy was like a professional gambler and stuff, and he went out to Vegas. He knew he needed a mentor, so he bumped into this guy. I'm not even, but this guy was sort of shady. Like give you an idea, even when it's summer in Vegas, he's walking around with a trench coat. But they're meeting up. He brushes it off. They go to the bar, and he says, "Yeah, man. So I want to learn how to play poker." He's like, "Are you sure?" He's like, "Yeah." All right. Well, I'm gonna teach you some things then. So they go on about their business. The ladies singing, the band is playing, and all of a sudden, the guy pulls a shotgun from out under his trench coat. And he racks the shotgun. That's that sound you're used to hearing in movies when somebody pulls the shotgun back, right, and the bullets go in the chamber. He racks the shotgun. A few people turn around, a bunch more are just still staring at the band or staring at the bottom of their glass, right? The manager even comes over at one point like, "Man, is everything okay?" He's like, "Oh, yeah, everything's good, man. I'm just teaching the young blood a message about poker. I'm teaching them how to play poker." He's like, "Okay." He looks at him strange and he walks away. Now, he turns to his student and he says, "Hey, man, when I just now racked that shotgun, what did you notice?" He was like, "Man, people seem to get nervous, Well, certain people did anyway. A bunch of people, it's like they were oblivious to it." He's like, "Here's your first lesson in poker. Never play with anybody who's better than you. When I racked that shotgun, those people that turned around, don't play poker with those people. Those are what we call sharks. They're too observant. They get what's going on out here. Everybody else in the room that stayed watching the jazz band, they're still looking in the bottom of their glass, they're drunk out their mind, that's who you want to play poker with. Those are what we call marks." So millionaires, the reason I'm sharing that with you is because when you make this content that I'm about to teach you, what you're doing is racking your shotgun. You get that? Except what you're looking for is the shark. This isn't poker. This isn't gambling. This is business. This is entrepreneurship. So what you're looking for when you rack your shotgun is for exactly the people that turn around and look at you. Millionaires, here is a daily marketing routine that will change your life. Because the way one of my mentors puts it is that the quickest way to massive success with your brand is to out-teach everybody else you know. Everybody else you'll ever know. Everybody you've ever heard of. And that's why we say to earn more, you got to learn more. So here's a daily marketing routine that will change your life if you let it. Every day, put out a piece of content that ends with a call to action. Every day. It can be lunchtime. It can be breakfast time. It can be the break of dawn. It can be the break of dusk. It can be at 12 midnight. It can be at 12 noon, but every day. Now, this is only for those that want to make money. This is only for those that want to build a brand. This is only for those that want to generate revenue while they're asleep. Every day, create content. We already gave you the questions to ask yourself. You already know what kind of content you're creating because you know who it is you're dealing with. Millionaires. If you create content every day, you are going to win. If you are consistent with it, because that's going to be the trick, isn't it? If you are consistent with it, though, because that's the only thing that separates some normal little playground ball player from an NBA contract. It's how consistently can he hit the free throw? How consistently can he hit the three-pointer? And not necessarily both, right? If you know anything about basketball. But darn it, if they can do one thing consistently, then they can get rich. Well, it's the same thing with you. Millionaire, you are going to have to form the habit going into the new year of creating content every day. Now, write this down while you're on it. A couple episodes that you can listen to of OWS where we go kind of further into it is the episode on the rich versus the poor, which was episode 61. You know, that's a really good one to start you off on doing some, like, if just, let's just say you wanted to just make a quick video and just educate people and have them going, wow. Well, that's one of our most replayed episodes, so that's a really good one for you to try. Another one you might want to go with is episode number 49, where we just talked about all the best books. But here's my point to you. Once you create this content, there are so many ways to reuse it, it will blow your mind. So what I'm going to do real quick is give you 30 of them. Now, I promised you needed your study buddy this episode, so I hope you're writing fast. But here are 30 ways that you can reuse the content you come across. Not 27, not 25, but 30. Write these down. You can turn the content into a book, an e-course, some kind of MP3, a podcast. You can turn it into blog posts, online articles, teleseminars, e-books. You can put it on a flash drive and sell it or give it away. You can put it on a Learn Pod. You can create a Learn Pod that can stream over and over again. Video recorder. You can do audio postcards. You can create an e-zine series. You can do autoresponders that utilize the content. You can do stuff with fax machines where you just send out random faxes. It works, people. You can do booklets. You can do workshops. You can do PDF reports, 3-ring binders. You can create a 24-hour hotline with a free report on it. You can do assessments. You can build glossaries out of the terms that you're teaching people. You can do offline articles. You can do a talk radio show. You can do local television. You can do a series of tweets, can't you? You can do a fan page series. You can do all kinds of phone coaching with people. You can do DVD sets. You can do public speaking. And the big three, of course, is DVD, CD, or MP3, and then the transcript. You can crush them with the way that you reuse this content. And let me tell you a little secret. There are 3 ways when you're building this content that you can raise curiosity. And then there are 3 things that you do that will raise resistance. Now, of course, we want to destroy resistance and build curiosity. We'll take these next notes really, really seriously, millionaires, because this is sort of a fail-safe that you can always go back to whenever you're needing a little bit of extra energy or a little extra oomph or a little extra like, what am I doing wrong? Here are the 3 things you do that will build resistance. This makes it so that people don't give a darn about what you're posting. If you're one of the people that said you want clients that care, you want followers who engage and that give a darn about what you're talking about, stay away from these. Number 1, hype with no substance. Number 2, mentioning company names. Number 3, weird call to actions. So, number 1, hype with no substance, right? How many times do you see people and they're just screaming about the next best thing and it turns out to be nothing? Or how often do you see people and they're overly enthusiastic and it's like, oh my goodness, like I wish this person would just relax. We see it on Instagram stories all the time where it's just like, you know, why am I even on your broadcast? Mentioning company names, it gets weird because even on Affirmation Nation, a lot of times people will start talking about their specific company because they don't realize what we represent. Millionaire Minded is just about entrepreneurship. We're not about any specific company. But there's another reason for that. It raises resistance. Now people are like, oh, I'm not about to share this broadcast. You seem like you're all about, you know, and then my people going to join your thing instead of my. It happens. It happens, and you've got to be, one, overt about not mentioning company names, and then two, you've got to be clear about the fact that your integrity is of utmost concern to you, and that you're not looking to kind of like subvert or brainwash anybody else's teammates or something. It gets weird in entrepreneurship. Now, one thing that my daddy told me with his actions when I used to watch him is he would always refer his customers to another business if he didn't have what they wanted. And that taught me that what's of paramount concern is making that customer know you've got their back. It's not the immediate sale. It's the long-term effect of them realizing you're somebody who cares more about them being happy than you do your own dollar. So keep that in mind. Haters never win. But I just wanted to say that mentioning company names will raise resistance. Here's the third one, weird call to actions. Sometimes you're given call to actions that are too difficult. See, a call to action doesn't have to be buy this from me or sign up at this link or I'm looking for 12 people that want to. Sometimes a call to action can just be what we just did with the survey, where it's like, hey, let me know which of these you're having issues with. It just gives people a chance to show that they're with you. And we'll get more into that in a minute when we talk about how to broadcast and do Facebook Lives and Periscopes and the like. But understand that it is powerful when you ask for a proper call to action, and it's sort of weird when you don't. Now, what are 3 ways to raise curiosity? One is consistency. You're going to cause people to be respected. You're going to cause your brand to be respected. You're going to cause people to be attracted when you're consistent. Even your haters respect consistency. Write that down. Even my haters respect consistency. That's why I'm telling you right now, this is a daily marketing routine because I'm talking to people that want to be masters of the universe. I'm talking to the millionaire-minded. But, if you know you can't do it daily, then you can start off weekly. I mean, you can start off monthly, but for 2017, start, man. Start, lady friend. Now, here are the 3 ways we're talking about of building curiosity. So the first one was consistency. The second one is recognition of teammates, right? Recognition of clients and customers. People love recognition. Napoleon, the famous general from France, right? He famously said, I have noticed something peculiar. Men will die for ribbons. I have noticed something peculiar. Men will die for ribbons. Recognition is a huge way to build people's curiosity about what it is you're doing. And then the third one, oh man, what took me so long to say it? I know you knew it was coming. Education. The fastest way to massive success is for you to out-educate everybody else in your world. But how are you supposed to come up with this stuff? How are you supposed to come up with content that will keep your people interested, right? That will keep your people, how are you supposed to not run out? And you talking about, I hear you, Haziq. You want us to do this daily. Do you know there are 365 days in a year? What you mean do it daily? Well, I'm about to tell you 5 ways to never run out of content. Now, this ain't even all of them. I could have did a whole training just on these. As you realize, I come up with a lot of content, right? But listen, I'm giving you some jewels right now. If you're not happy that you put people on the line yet, that you can brainstorm over this stuff with, and you can start to build your empire with them, you're about to be happy in the next couple seconds. These are the 5 best ways I've ever seen or come up with or researched to never run out of content. Here's the 5th out of the top 5. Here's the 5th. Go through your old notebooks. Man, I know that you got a notebook you're writing in right now. If you're one of the millionaire-minded, you have a zebra composition book because it's built 3rd grade tough, and you can't lose pages out of it, and you love your notebook. You better go through them old notebooks and use that stuff. One of my mentors calls it ILT, Invest, Learn, Teach. Another one of my mentors calls it Learning Out Loud. Man, you better go back over that stuff and you better share that stuff with people. You wrote it down for a reason. It was special to you. Those notes are uncashed checks. Number 4, your why. You know, WHY, for some of us, we always teach, that stands for what hurt you. WHY, or what helped you. But here's another one. What's hurting your customer? What's hurting your loved ones? What helped your customer? What helped your loved ones? You know, different types of testimonials, right? How do you help them? Don't forget, vibrations on the physical plane are called emotions. People love good emotional content. They love it. Number 3. Now, we call this reverse engineering, right? Here's a good way to come up with content. Write down what you would never discuss ever. Write down what you would never want to talk about ever. And just doing that is going to give you some, we know some people that's good at that, knowing what they don't want. Well, man, we all can use that as a way to brainstorm. Write out the stuff that you never want to talk about ever. Here's number 2. Ask yourself questions. You know, what keeps you up at night? What do you wake up thinking about? What were your dreams when you were a little kid? What's the first thing that you'll do when you have $1 million net worth? See, you're a composite of all these different experiences you've had. And when you ask yourself questions, you force magic to come out. Millionaires, your tests were not for you. Now, small caveat, your tests were for you because God's will is what you become. Your will is what you do. God's will is what you become. That's why he'll never fail you, but there will be a retest. Some of those hard times are necessary to make you legendary, is the way I always teach it. So, let me say that. Your tests are for you, but here's my point. Your tests are also for the people. That's why you want to turn your tests into testimonies. And this number 1 way of creating content is a brilliant way to do it. Millionaires, if you never want to run out of content, journal your day. Journal your day. Write down what happened. Write down what you learned. Listen, if you don't start realizing that everybody you will ever meet knows something you don't know, therefore you know something that everybody you will ever meet doesn't know. Millionaires, you are a walking, talking, breathing miracle. And everybody you ever meet is either a miracle where they're a terrible reminder or they're a miracle where they're an incredible example. What are you doing about it? You got to share this stuff. Journal it. Man, if nothing else, your children will one day, if Facebook decides to let us have it still, your children and your grandchildren and your great-grandchildren will one day be able to see this content that you're putting out. I hope for your sake it ain't a bunch of ghetto fights and kittens using the toilet. And that's funny. We all love a good kitten using the toilet, right? But can it be a little balance? Can we also put some stuff on our page that adds value to other people's lives so we can begin to be looked at as rising above the normal sheep in our community? I think we can. So with that said, I'm going to give you 7 steps to crushing out your Facebook Live broadcast. Now, a lot of what I'm about to teach you will also work for Periscope, might even work for Instagram Live, but I want to warn you, the best way to use Instagram Live for a lot of the people that can hear my voice is to not use it. Because what you got to understand is that your Instagram page is a nice, pretty place full of beautiful pictures and images. They don't want to see you in your T-shirt by Ciroc. I'll just leave that right there. Now, what I'm going to give you right now is a way to kind of like leverage this magical tool. 1 out of 7 people have a Facebook Live. Have a Facebook, and Facebook wants you to use Live. So whenever you start, your Facebook Live is showing up in people's notifications. It is trippy. But how do you utilize it because a lot of us are not millionaires. We're just not doing it correctly. So please take these notes seriously. Here's the first one. Start your broadcast from second one. You only got 5 to 10 seconds, millionaire. Talk directly to your ideal customer. See, because we're obsessed with success, we know how to figure out our ideal customer. We've stalked their page. We know exactly what they're into. We understand their problems. And then when all else fails, we've asked. So now it's time for you to frame that huge problem. Are you sick and tired of blank? Or I've got super exciting news. Or you just launch into a story. Everybody loves a good story. Don't worry about it. Your people will rewind when you get finished. Don't worry. Just get started. Stop sitting there in the beginning of your broadcast going, okay, we just waiting on, hopefully somebody join. You've got to have confidence and posture that you know they're coming. And guess what? If they're not coming, you know how I kept these calls going for weeks and weeks and weeks when it wouldn't be no couple hundred people on the line. I know that was a double negative. There wouldn't be a couple hundred people on the line, right? There would just be me and a couple of my friends, right, trying to keep me from feeling bad. Guess what? I'm still knocking it out because I'm doing this for me. At least there will forever be an archive of some stuff that I thought was really cool. So whenever I want to go back and refer to a course on branding, it's right here. Whenever I want to go and get all the best stuff that I've collected from everywhere, it's right here. That's what keeps me going when all else fails. When you look at my Instagram, like my Instagram page is at Haziq Ali, right? Because at We Are Millionaire Minded is just a living vision board. But when you look at Haziq Ali, what you're going to see is a bunch of stuff that I just want. I just want to hang on to it. That ain't nothing but my scrapbook. I'm bringing this up to say, get started when it's time to broadcast. Because if nothing else, you need to care what you're talking about. So you can look back at it and laugh yourself in a year or two. So you can look back at it and be, man, I was a bad boy yourself in a couple years. Number 2, explain why you're such a bad boy or such a goddess in front of that camera, right? Establish your credibility. Some people are just coming in because they got the post shared with them. Well, explain to them real quick. They're watching the rewind of the broadcast. Explain to them. Establish your credibility. And it doesn't always have to be you got all more degrees than a thermometer. Sometimes you're just saying why this matters to you. Sometimes you're just saying what your problem was. Millionaires, once you know their problem, everything makes sense. If you're a single mom, you know that, or if you're talking to single mothers, on a training I did recently, I just had them name them, and everybody started throwing out problems that they know single mothers have when they're just brainstorming. They want to attract single mothers. So I just said, well, what are the problems single mothers have? And they started naming them. Lack of organization, not enough time, mentally and physically exhausting, trying to be a good role model, too many responsibilities, not enough income, not a strong support system. Wow. You can take all of those if you're talking to single mothers, and you can apply that to everything from weight loss to financial empowerment. You can apply that to everything from travel to why they need to come get a massage. Now you know your niche, see? But if you're trying to be everything to everybody, I'm going to tell you what you're going to end up being, and that's broke. Bill Cosby famously said it. I don't know the way to please everybody, but I know how to fail. And that is to keep trying to be everything to everybody. Leave it alone. Tell them why they should listen to you, millionaires. Now, number 3. This is a tricky one. This is a good one. Find a reason that you can tell them why they needed to watch the beginning of the video. So you're telling them in the beginning why it's good they're watching the beginning. Oh, man, at the end, I'm going to give you a bonus tip. You're basically telling them why they need to watch to the end is a better way to put it. So number 3 is going to be like, give them a reason to stay in till the end of the video.
Put some jeans on. Put some sweatpants on.
So what you're doing is giving them a reason in the beginning to watch until the end. And then you can tell them things like, for those of you who watch till the end, you're getting a bonus tip. Or I have a special gift for those who stay until the end. Or I'm going to recap everything, but for those of you who watch the beginning, you know what you're going to get at the end, or you already know where you can get the gift. Make sure you watch the beginning of the video. That's what you're going to get into near the end because you said something in the beginning. In other words, you're planting an Easter egg in the beginning of the broadcast that you're going to leverage before you end it. Here's number 4. Again, we're talking about how you crush a Facebook Live broadcast. 1 out of 7 people have a Facebook Live. They say something like 40 years of Facebook are getting watched every hour, right? 40 years of video. It's a big deal. Here's number 4. Make it relevant. So what you're going to do is tell them what you're about to tell them. And exactly why. So you know, the classic sales presentation goes, tell them what you're about to tell them, and then tell them what you told them. But right here, you're making it relevant. You're making sure that they understand it like this matters to them and that they matter to you. So in this step is when you're telling them stuff about how if you weren't here live, don't worry, I'll be watching the questions and the comments for 48 hours. I'll be here to engage and respond and answer your questions. Right? That leads us to number 5, a call to comment. So while you're doing the broadcast, it's one thing to tell them that it's relevant, that their comments are relevant, that their questions are relevant when they're watching a replay. But here's another thing you got to remember. When you're broadcasting live, you better keep people busy. You better do a CTC, which is a call to comment, because the whole point here is you're asking who has done blank in the past, or you're saying, how many of you are here because you want to learn how to make more money, or how many of you are here because you want more time, right? Well, the whole thing is if you keep on niching it out, so then after that you say, how many are here because you want both? Now you made the same person comment 3 times. Or how many of you do blank once a month? How many do blank a couple times a week? How many do blank once a day? Because this is the trick for this. If you don't give them something to comment on, they're going to start trolling you. They're going to start trolling you. That's not what you want. Number 6. Now, sometimes trolls are fun, but what will happen if you're not giving them nothing to do, people will start paying more attention to the troll than they are you. And now you're losing steam. Now you can't even, remember what you was about to say next because you're seeing red. Or worse, you don't even notice because you were in your zone, and then you go back and watch it, and somebody's going ham underneath your broadcast. All right. Number 6, midway through the broadcast, ask for some love. So this is when you hit them midway through. You say, hey, if you're enjoying this, please share this with some people that you think deserve it, right? Or hey, if you don't want to share it, then please write the name below of somebody who'd enjoy this. Right? Now, you don't want to do it in the beginning because that's just rude and not to mention a little bit silly. They don't care yet. But in the middle, when you know you got them going and your hearts are on fire and people are commenting, right? Ask for some love. Number 7, call to action. This is where you remind them. This is where you remind them about that Easter egg. Don't forget I left a killer bonus tip in the beginning. Or, hey, I hope you guys enjoyed this, so turn on your notifications so next time you don't miss it from the beginning. Because I'm not even letting this one be replayed. Because, you don't have to let all your Facebook Lives get replayed. Sometimes you can just do something for the people that were there and let them know, hey, if you came here late and you missed this, well, sorry, but make sure you cut on your notifications so you don't miss the next one. And then I'll just give you a bonus one. You're going to see it on the new wave on Facebook. The new wave with videos is adding captions because they know we're scrolling by. But if the words catch us on the screen, then we might push the button and actually listen to what's going on. Now, there are a lot of different apps that you can do to use that, but we don't have time to go into a lot of that right now. So I'm going to end off today's training by running you through 7 ways to up your likability. People love to do business with people that they know, like, and trust. That's the brand they want to deal with. And that's the beauty of this connection economy that we live in, right? Can you imagine back in the day, these companies could buy fame. They could buy fame and therefore fortune just by overpowering the 3 TV networks. It wasn't nothing but ABC, NBC, and CBS, right? And so back in the day, there was a certain real estate that came from the fact that they had the power as the corporations. Well, now it's way different. Now, instead of them having power over the audience is the power. Its power to the people. Its power is the people. Millionaires, you've got it all right in the palm of your hand right now. And so if you can learn this, if you can train yourself to understand that at the end of the day, the Miami Heat will never be able to have a Twitter page that's as powerful as #1 Miami Heat fan, or for that matter, LeBron James. Because people want to connect with other people. When all things are equal, people want to do business with people they know, like, and trust. And as a matter of fact, when all things aren't equal, people still want to do business with people that they know, like, and trust. So, millionaires, we're going to end this training with the 7 ways for you to build trust, for you to make people know, like, and trust your brand, especially as it relates to social media. So let's begin. #1 is content. And we talked about this over and over during this call, but you got to realize that everything in social media world, everything going into 2017 is about education and entertainment. People don't want to be sold, but they love to be informed. They love to be entertained. People don't want to be sold, but they love to buy. So what you want to do is use the 80-20 law. 80% value, 20% asking for something in return. Does that make sense? 80% of you just giving it up. And then 20% you asking for a sale. You've got to give content, though, if you want to build trust. Content is king. Content is bae. Get with it. #2, build influence with the influencers. Listen, I'm not just talking about, I don't know, some kind of like urban hood celebrity who has like I'm talking about authors of your favorite books. Man, their audience ain't writing them back. You really matter. Build influence with the influencers. They can help you get the word out. It makes people want to try it for themselves. As we all know, influencers also means your family and friends who you've already served to the utmost of your ability. It may have been years ago and you baked this pie that your friends just love, but they made a post about it and it comes up in your memories. Man, you better snapshot that post and then save that for the testimonial section of your website, or save that to repost now that you have a business. I know I'm talking to somebody right now. Build influence with the influencers. So that's the celebrities, and that's your customers. That's all these regular people. Get out of the mental douchery that makes you think you're only supposed to network with people with these huge followings. How about you realize people are people? #3, endorsements. Millionaires, nothing breaks trust like doing a bunch of hardcore sales. Get it in your mind that you're just here to help people, that you're just here to serve. That means testimonials and endorsements beat commercials every single time. Let your clients do the singing for you. You always get a singer to do your commercials. #4. So before I leave #3, this means you can take your phone, people, and pull it out. Nobody cares about the lighting. You can have your customers take out their phone and pull it out. Everybody will understand if they don't have on Hollywood-level makeup. Matter of fact, it's better for you because it looks more believable when the lighting isn't perfect, when the lighting isn't on Spielberg, right? I just want to throw that out there. Here's #4. We're talking about building trust with your brand. Realize criticism equals opportunity. Sometimes when there's a negative comment, we want to delete the comment, don't we? Nah, man. Answer them in public. Show everybody you're a problem solver. Use the same exact forum to respond proactively rather than defensively, because you know how we'll do if they catch us on the wrong day. Showcase your customer service, millionaire. That's going to build trust. That's going to make people know, like, and trust you. Number 5, this is kind of part of that. Make sure you're using a combination of active and passive communication. Active and passive communication. What do we mean by that? What we mean by that is, and I'll take some, I see people inboxing me and stuff. I will take a couple of questions in a minute. But here's what active and passive communication means. Speaking versus listening. Posting versus liking. You got to do both. Millionaires, do you realize on Facebook, a lot of people aren't even seeing your post if you're not liking theirs? That's how it goes. Even on IG, when somebody follows you, even if you don't want to follow them back, at least go through their page and like a few posts. Mark yourself in their memory as somebody that they kind of like, that they don't have to unfollow right away. Millionaires, use the hashtag We Are Millionaire Minded. Write that down. Hashtag We Are Millionaire Minded. Do you know every time you use that hashtag, the whole family is going to support you? They're going to search that hashtag. A lot of people I see doing it more than once a day, but definitely more than once a week. And then you're going to find all of these friends that you didn't even know you had liking your posts. You know that? Hashtag We Are Millionaire Minded will get you a lot more support. I just wanted to throw that out there. Number 6. Keep your promises. This goes back to being consistent. No bait and switch. Like, you see how I told you everything that was going to be on this call on Facebook. And even though we're going a little bit soon, we're not quite over an hour yet. But even though we might go over an hour, I bet you I gave everything that you had, right? Because if not, they're like, fool me once, shame on you, fool me twice. You know, well, can't fool me once. Like the George Bush quote, right? But my whole thing is that, listen, don't exaggerate accomplishments. You know, don't say you're going to do something frivolously. And if, God forbid, you have to break your word, give an explanation. Aren't your friends and family worth it? Don't they deserve that? Give an explanation when a promise has to be broken. That's going to build them knowing, liking, and trusting you, millionaires. And number 7 is probably the most powerful of all 7 of these tips. Listen to me now, believe me later on. Network in small, highly engaged communities. I tell my entrepreneurs of the brick and mortar variety all the time, one of the best things you can do is join a network marketing company when you have a regular business. It's one of the best things that you can do. Now, I'm not here to be an evangelist for network marketing companies, but I want you to know that what you're lacking is customers. You need to join every network marketing company you can, plus a church, a synagogue, a mosque, a temple, the Boy Scouts, the Girl Scouts, the Rotary Club, the Masons. Join everything. You know, I'm joking about some of that, but I want you to understand that it is much easier to make noise in a small group. Man, that's all you asking for is to be a well in a teardrop, right? Everybody's a lot more intimate in these groups. People actually know each other in these groups. They can't help but get to know each other if they're being active. Now, some people still just sit back and lurk, but a lot of people in these types of groups, this could change your life, depending on how much your product costs, right? And what you need to change your lifestyle, how many sales you need to change your lifestyle. You better get in some of those smaller groups. Millionaires, this was episode number 158. What we'll do now is kind of take time for some really short Q&A. I also want to, before we get into this, write this down. Episode number 50 on persuasion and episode number 65 on sales versus marketing. I highly recommend, because we could have gone a few more hours on this, but some stuff I realized that we already have, so I just didn't give it to you again in honor of the time frame. But there are things about the rules of consumer psychology that you're definitely going to want to use in your content that we talk about on episode 50. And then in sales versus marketing, some of the stuff that we go into about how to build leadership into your brand, et cetera, so forth, is just invaluable. I didn't go over a lot of that on this training because of the fact that we already have that on episode 50 and episode 65. If you go to wearemillionaireminded.com, click on the OWS, the best of OWS, which is what you're on right now, Obsessed with Success. And then you go to episode 50 and episode 65, and you will get some really good training on this subject. So now I'm going to unmute the lines so that you can push *6 and unmute your line. Okay. So I just now unmuted the lines. If anybody has any questions, *6 will unmute your line, and then we can begin.
Mr. Ali, what's poppin'?
Hey, how's it going? Good evening, millionaire.
Jamal from Atlanta.
Okay.
It's crazy you just said, saying building networking in small, engaged communities. Literally, while I was on this call, somebody added me to a group because they said they want to create a small social group. It's the time on that is crazy because I was about to leave the group. Literally, you said that, I was like, I'm glad I didn't click leave. All right, cool. Number 4 on building trust with your brand. What was that again?
See, a lot of the rewind stuff you'll be able to do. I'll go ahead and give it to you. It was responding to public grievances in public.
Okay, gotcha.
Not inboxing them. Sometimes they'll say something crazy or they'll say something, and we'll respond with defensiveness. We'll get kind of upset with the person. And what we're suggesting instead is that you go ahead and answer them in public, unless it's just there's no value in it and they're just being offensive to people. Then of course delete that. But
right.
That's a huge way to build that know-like trust factor. What we call KLT is responding to grievances in public. So thanks for making me say that again.
I appreciate that.
Okay. Yeah, man. No problem. Thanks for being here. Okay. *6 will unmute your line. Anybody else got any questions about this episode? Good evening.
This is Vanika in Virginia. I just wanted to say this call was really awesome. Thank you, Haziq. You're like a hero
welcome.
a little bit. Like, this is really hot stuff. I'm driving, so I can't write anything down, but I will be on that replay.
Okay, yes,
Thank
we will send the replay out. You are welcome. The replay will go on Dear Millionaire. If you have not joined Dear Millionaire, make sure you text message @MillMind to the number 81010. We have time for 5 more questions. We're just going to do a lucky 7. Anybody else got anything? Or was that all? *6 will unmute your line. *6 will unmute your line. Anybody else got any questions or feedback?
Hi.
Hey,
Hi,
good evening, millionaire.
This is Freedom. Good evening, millionaire. So suppose you have not completely identified your niche because you have like more than one talent in a particular area, and then you want to find out like what the thing you should do is based on how many people really desire that.
Well, yeah, the number one tool in an entrepreneur's arsenal is, write these down, 4 letters. TEST, the test. You just got TEST, a test. You got to test it. So when you're we already talked about researching the people that follow you, because you may not have picked out a niche, but a lot of times a niche will pick you. So look through the people that last followed you. Look through the last 10, 20, dozen, 2 dozen people that followed you, and I guarantee you, as sure as you can hear my voice, you're going to start noticing a pattern. And if you will utilize that and leverage it, it'll change everything for your marketing plan.
Well, this call and everything has already changed things so much for me because things have become, I've opened up to another audience of people, and those people require different things from me. I mean, and that's cool. because they know me by different things. It's like when I started doing the Airbnb, I started dealing with clients from all over the world, and then people saw me differently. It's another group of people, so something else developed up in the scope of things.
Good.
You know what I
well,
mean?
Yeah, that's the bottom line. And I do. I know exactly what you mean. And millionaires, I hope everybody caught what she said. As you begin to jump into different ventures, different customers will start to appear in your life. And it is your prerogative to choose which ones you want to focus on and which ones you kind of want to let fall to the wayside. You don't have to try and be all things to all people. You don't even have to try to serve all the different people that love you. What you got to do is pick out the ones that you want to serve, though, and then serve the heck out of them. And never forget 80-20 law says you're getting 80% of your income from 20% of your customers anyway. So the whole goal is to grow that magic 20% and let the other 80% who are only giving you 20% of your money fall by the wayside. Anybody else got? Was that helpful, Freedom?
Oh, very helpful. Thank you so much.
No problem. *6 will unmute your line. Anybody else got any questions for us before we end episode number 158, Building a Brand?
Hello, Haziq.
Yes, ma'am. Good morning. Good evening, millionaire.
Hi. My name is Janine. I'm over in Dallas, Texas. I just started a blog, and my blog is geared toward introspection. A lot of psychology, a lot of things dealing with mental illness, a lot of dealing with your inner self and your inner person. And I have the idea to start somewhat like counseling sessions with people, but I am in no way licensed or certified to diagnose anyone of anything like that. I haven't gone to school for any type of psychology or anything like that. So I don't want to defeat myself by saying I don't have a degree, so I can't do this. So what would you say the safest way to go about having like a phone conversation with people if they need to talk or something like that without giving too much energy and without getting myself caught up legally speaking?
Sure. Well, the blessing and the curse of that whole world of personal development and self-growth is that there's not really that much certification. Even some of the psychologists and psychiatrists you'll meet are the craziest people you'll ever meet, because that's what we do. We try and jump right into the thing that hurt us the most. Policemen were bullied, and nurses were hurt or abandoned a lot of times. Well, life coaches and psychiatrists, they're jacked up, man. And so, and I'll even throw myself in it. Like, we jacked up. It's just how it goes. How this started off is you trying to figure out what's wrong with you. So the point that I'm making is that don't worry about just blossom where you're planted. I say it all the time. You don't have to be great to start. You just have to start to be great. If these people want your coaching and you're able to use your test to bless them with testimony that is of salve and soothe to their life, then man, nobody can stop you from doing that. I say go for it, and then on top of that, what you want to do is study. I mean, somebody invented this college and invented this test and said, now you're certified. And if you Google certification and life coaching, there's some people that will accept your money. Oh, please believe it. They will sell you. They'll sell you some stuff. So, there's that if you just really want credentials. But please believe me, your testimonies are your credentials. The people that know that you are coming from your heart and soul and they love what you pour into them, that's going to be your badge. That's going to be the stripe on your sleeve. Does that help?
Okay. Yes, sir. Thank you.
No problem.
Hey, Haziq, how you doing tonight?
Hello.
Good evening, millionaire. I guess ladies first, and then we'll take the gentleman. I think we got time for like 3 more. So you 2, and then there'll be 1 more.
Okay. Great. Hello, this is Shakita from California.
Hey, Shakita. Good evening, millionaire.
I'm
great. I feel like a giant.
A while, but the last speaker, she really just made me want to speak. I have been trying to do also things with personal development, health and wellness, and I've actually gotten a lot of feedback, like you said, from people coming to me, like people who you don't even know you're helping by just doing your everyday routine, by me going to the gym, working out, posting, hey, this is something that's motivating me. This is what I'm doing to get things done. People come to you and they're just like, hey, like, I really like what you're doing. Can you help me with this? Or can I talk to you about this? Or what do you do about this? So I was just going to say, don't let not having degrees or things like that, like getting your life slow you down, because there's so many people out there who don't have them, who are doing way more than people with them. And I also just wanted to thank you for, I don't know what made me get on this phone call today, but I had been really like thinking about what I want to do and working on my brand, and I'm always up late at night, like having ideas and tossing things around. And then I saw the phone, a text message from Dear Millionaire, and I was like, you know what, let me get on this phone call today. And it was just amazing. It was like confirmation. So I was really grateful that you gave me this number a long time ago, and that I decided to use it, because I learned a lot from you and all the other people, and I'm just really excited to start this year off in a better way. So thank you.
Well, thank you for being here. Spread the word. Let's change the world. Okay, Millionaire, star 6 will unmute your line. Did you have a question or some feedback?
Yeah, I had a question, Haziq. My name is David Tannehill out here in Atlanta, Georgia, and I wanted to find out any tips or strategies you have about on how to keep a daily journal, because that's a habit I'm definitely looking to build. I do journal. I just don't do it as consistently as I would like to do every day. So anything that can help out in that area, that would be great.
Sure, man. Actually, we have a whole training on that. I'll post it on We Are Millionaire Minded. The episode number doesn't come to me right away.
Okay.
But journaling is its own kind of thing. Like with journaling, you kind of there are a bunch of different ways that you can do it. But the bottom line is that if you decide to, then this can be something that makes you very wise, because I always say that, wisdom doesn't come from time. Wisdom comes from reflection, right? And so what you're doing with a journal is you're using it to pose ruminations, resolutions, complaints, observations, and there are all kinds of different formats that you can use. And I don't even want to take up too much time with it, because if you look through the archives, there's a whole training on journaling that you'll be able to kind of grab up. But yeah, that deserves that's its own whole thing, man. But that's a basic answer for you. I hope that was helpful.
No problem. That works. Appreciate it.
No problem, man. Okay, we got time for one more before we get out of here. Yes, ma'am. Good evening, Millionaire.
Hello, Millionaires. This is Grace, Bethesda, Maryland, and I just wanted to make a comment in reference to the young lady who had called prior and that wants to possibly do counseling. I just wanted to share with you, weeks ago, the term talk ministry just popped in my head, like talk ministry. What is that? That means you could literally counsel, whatever, but it's just talk therapy, but not using that word. But remember Yolanda Van Zandt, Oprah Winfrey? People would pay them thousands of dollars if they could sit down one-on-one and counsel, and none of them have any credentials for that. It's again, as Haziq was saying, it's your heart, your intent, and people will come to you, as you know, but just go out and do it, because you don't need the credentials. And if you want credentials, go ahead and get the ministerial licenses, like a lot of Hollywood stars have done. They just get these licenses so they can say they're a minister, right? But nevertheless, I'll be praying for you, but just go forth, because you have a lot to offer. And I just want to thank everybody and say Happy New Year. And Mr. Haziq, thank you so much. God bless everybody. Signing out.
Okay. Did anybody else have a question before we get out of here?
I have a question.
Okay,
Hi,
you'll be
my
our
name is
last
Jasmine
question for the day.
from South Carolina. And earlier you said that you should definitely research your clients and those around you. So from my journeys and listening to many TED Talks, I hear that a lot of people, like she said, Oprah Winfrey and Ayanna Van Zandt, they're looked upon the way they are because they're not that available. It's hard to reach them. They're glorified because they're not that accessible to their clients, and you have to be of a certain status or go through a different process to reach them. So at what point do you say, hey, I am valuable, so I cannot be easily accessible to those that I work with? Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes perfect sense, and great question. This is why I love these Q&A sessions. Listen, it is not about your actions. It's about your intentions. What do I mean by that? What I mean is what you don't want to do is try to remove yourself for posturing like you're unassailable or posturing like you're unavailable, excuse me. What you want to do is do God's work until you have so many people that you're just not available, that you just don't have the time to be accessible. But what you don't want to do is put somebody off that needs you for out of concern for wanting to raise your price, for instance. And I'm not saying this is your concern. I'm just talking in general. But I want people to understand it. It's really about the fact that, like, I'm not really doing this for the money. I'm not really doing this for the likes. I'm doing this literally to help that person that needs exactly this. See, there's somebody out there who has a problem that looks exactly like your dimension. It's like we're these puzzle pieces and we're walking around and our piece just happens to fit on somebody else's piece just perfectly. And then it seemed like it was going to fit with this one, but it doesn't when we try it, and it doesn't when it tries. Well, it's just like that when you're talking about problems and solutions. There are people out here that do not realize that their solutions are in other people, just like other people's solution is in them. And with all of this said, I just want to throw one more thing out there, right? We got to study. I heard what you said, ma'am, about how Oprah and Ayanna are sort of untouchable. Almost it comes off like they're untouchable for being untouchable. But let me tell you when Oprah was touchable, when she's getting all these letters written to her like you're too dark for television, or there are all these letters like we hate when you're losing weight, put the weight back on, because you know they love a mammy. They love a mammy in pop culture. When you look like Oprah, when you got brown skin like Oprah, they don't want you to, and if you're too curvy in the pop culture sense of the word, then now they're going to over-sexualize you. This is what they're comfortable with from certain women, that look like my mama looked, in terms of brown skin, et cetera, and so forth. So there's a lot that goes on with all of this. But what I want you to know is that it's not quite the fact that they are untouchable that makes them legendary. It's the fact that they've been through it all, and they have these hearts of service that you can't help but notice. I mean, a blind man could see it. I mean, you could just feel it through the television. You could feel it through the podcast. It is genuine. I come from the world of hip-hop, where there was this big magazine out called The Source, and everybody wanted 5 mics with their project when they would come out with music. But The Source fell off because they started selling the mics, and it was obvious to anybody. We weren't in there with no consulting firm doing some kind of diagnostic on what destroyed their business model. But anybody that read The Source magazine knows that there was a moment they turned the corner, and then they were for sale. Well, Oprah's never been for sale. Oprah's never sold her book list. Oprah's never sold her things I love list. Oprah is giving genuinely the Oprah vibe to people. And I think that's the number one lesson. When people clamor for it, you're going to have to rise up. But don't skip classes. Graduation coming. Graduation is coming. You're going to get your cap and gown. But not if you skip classes.
So there's basically no effort too small if it's going to help someone. Don't disengage because you feel like, okay, hey, I've done this. Like, for instance, you could listen to your videos or your recordings online, but it doesn't cost anything or doesn't do anything to just reach out to help this person in this instance. So, okay, gotcha. All right. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. And with the whole idea that the only time that your efforts are wasted is when they're wasting your efforts. So, like, don't go for these what we call ask holes, right, where they ask the question, you give them the advice, and it just goes into some crevice, never to be seen again. They never respond to it. And so now you're doing small actions that don't matter. But we're not going to cut ourselves off from this customer or this other human being, because that might be the gateway to your blessing.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. So that's going to do it for episode 158 of Obsessive Success. I hope this was helpful to somebody out there. I hope that you were able to get a study buddy or two on the line so that you guys can compare notes with each other. If you have not joined Dear Millionaire, this is a good time to do it so you can get the replay. All you have to do is text message @MillMind to the number 81010. Please visit the Facebook page and like it. We are Millionaire Minded on Facebook. If there's any way I can help you, my name is Haziq Ali. My Instagram is HAZIQALI, and my Facebook is the same exact thing, HAZIQALI. I love you all, and remember, either your mind has expanded to match your goal, or your goals will just shrink to match your mind. Let's grow.